Hi everyone, I'm Swathi from Indiahikes and you're watching Trek with Swathi. I'm noticing a really heartening trend in trekking in India. I see lots of families taking their children on treks and going. This is wonderful because we always believe you must get them started very young, introduce them to the outdoors at a very young age. And we see the benefits of the outdoors on the children. They are a lot more confident, resilient, they learn to deal with hardships, they become a lot more independent. And when families trek together, they form a certain bond which is almost unbreakable because they go through so much hardship together. It really brings them together. So I'm very happy to see families trekking. But I also see families making a mistake in choosing treks, because I've also seen the other side of it where families take children on quite hard or difficult treks, which are difficult for the children, maybe not for the parents, and then they cannot go beyond camp 1 or camp 2, or they have to be brought down midway. That kind of dents the confidence of the children. It makes them very negative towards the outdoors. So choosing the right trek is very important, and that is what this video is all about. In this video, I'm going to share a list of 10 treks. I'm going to split it up into first, we will deal with children who are 6 and above, which means I'm going to tell treks which are suited for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, anything, but starting from 6. And then I'll tell you a few more treks which are suited to 8 and above. I'm not really dealing with children who are 5 or below 5 because we are usually doing multi-day treks in a group setting, and children who are 5 or below require a certain flexibility, individual attention, and many of our treks are very difficult for them. So if you have somebody who's 5 or below, just call us, get in touch with us, we'll personally guide you. You'll find a form in the description below. So with that context, let's get started with our list. I'm going to start with 4 treks that are suited for children who are 6 and above. So this means a 6-7-year-old can do it, but even 8-9-year-olds can easily do these treks. It's a very good introduction to trekking. So our first go-to trek is usually Bijli Mahadev, which is a beautiful 3-day trek in Himachal. Now this is a trek that gives you a very nice introduction to the outdoors because it takes you through some of the most beautiful deodar forests of the Kulu Valley, and it also gives you a very nice introduction to camping and what that is like, but it does not have the difficulties of an actual Himalayan trek. So you get a chance to introduce your children to the outdoors, to camping, to the Himalayas, because you even have a bit of a summit climb from where you see snow-clad peaks. So it's a very nice introduction, minus the big difficulties of a typical Himalayan trek. Only thing I would suggest is don't venture here in winter with children because it does see a lot of snow and extreme temperatures as well. Our next evergreen suggestion is the Dayara Bugyal trek. Now we love this trek at Indiahikes because it has again all those classic elements of a Himalayan trek. Beautiful forests, it has these huge meadows that you really many times have to climb very high to see such meadows, but at Dayara you don't have to climb that high. And then you have these big Himalayan peaks surrounding you. So it tests your endurance very little, and every day is quite short and easy exits from the trail as well if you're not able to handle the difficulties of the trek, but it gives you a very nice introduction to trekking. So even 6 and 7-year-olds can actually attempt this trek. But again, don't choose the winter months because winter there is a lot of snow and the temperatures are very extreme. So choose spring and summer months, especially from April onwards. You can go all the way April, May, June, and then you can also do it in September, October and November. Avoid the other months for Dayara Bugyal if you're taking very young children. My next 2 treks are in the southern part of India, and that is a trek out of our southern campus, which is a Channarayana Durga trek, and the Coorg Nailji Hill trek. Both of these again are very, very nice introductions to trekking because you're camping in the outdoors and you're trekking in the heart of Karnataka's hills and forests. So both of these are also very good introductions. They also give you the flexibility to, if you cannot do the trek too much, you can easily come back within half an hour, 1 hour. So it's a very nice introduction. I would actually recommend doing these and then taking your children for a Himalayan trek. It will sort them out, give them a very nice idea so that you're not experiencing something totally new on a Himalayan trek. Then comes my list of treks for children who are 8 and above. So the treks I'm going to suggest now are not ideal for children who are 6 and 7. Only if they're 8 and above, take them on these treks. So the first recommendation would be the Ali Bedni Bugyal trek. Now many people might think Ali Bedni Bugyal really, but this is actually a very nice trek, gentle on the legs, except for the first day. The first day you have a big climb to the first campsite, Ghairoli Patal, but after that you actually have a very gradual climb, very easy walks within the meadows. There are a few things that will test you, that's the altitude, the weather also will test you a little bit, but if your child is fit and has an active lifestyle, you can definitely take them on the Ali Bedni Bugyal trek. Next on my list is the Kuwari Pass trek. Now there's a reason why we run our Himalayan summer camps on the Kuwari Pass trek, where we take children between 10 to 14 on this trek without their parents, and they all fare really well, they all trek very comfortably. So if the family, mom, dad, they are coming along, you can even take slightly younger children from the age of 8 onwards on this trek, because the days are very nicely spread out. There is no day when you're trekking too many kilometers, or there's no very exhausting day where you're trekking all day. It's a very nicely spread out trail. There are climbs, there are descents, so your child will have to be prepared for the trek, much like any Himalayan trek, but it's a very nice introduction to trekking in the Himalayas again, and your child will get to experience some of the best forests, biggest mountains of our country at such a young age. They're going to be blessed with a very nice trek. Again, avoid winter, choose any other time of the year, because you don't want them trekking in snow and extreme temperatures. Next, I'm talking about the Brahmatal trek. Now, Brahmatal is primarily considered a winter trek, but not many people know how beautiful it is in spring, because this is one of those treks where you have lovely rhododendron forests, and all of these are in bloom in springtime, which is between mid-March and April. So you should definitely take your child to experience this on the Brahmatal trek. Again, not a very difficult climb, all very nicely spread out days, and you'll have a very nice experience of seeing the Bekaltal lake and then the Brahmatal lake itself, and these big views of Mount Trishul, Mount Nanda Ghunti. It's a very beautiful trek to expose your children to, so that's definitely on top of the list. It has a very small season in which we do it at Indiahikes, so you'll need to time your trek during this time. I would recommend the rhododendron season to give your child that experience. Next on my list is a trek in Himachal Pradesh, and that is the Chandrakhani Pass trek. Now, if you're looking for a trek in June, July, August, September, in all of these months, most of the treks that are accessible are in Himachal Pradesh or in Jammu and Kashmir, and they're all quite difficult. So during this time, Chandrakhani Pass is a very nice trek which you can access even with children who are 8 or above, because Chandrakhani Pass, traditionally people cross over the pass, which makes it quite difficult. But at Indiahikes, we climb up to the pass and come back on the same route. There's a reason for this. The route on the other side, which enters the village of Malana, it is a very touristy spot, and it kind of changes the entire atmosphere that you experienced on this side of the pass. So we don't want to expose our trekkers to that atmosphere. This side of the pass is very beautiful, and because we just climb up to the pass and come back, it becomes a notch easier also. But you're not missing out on any of the beauty, because you're still experiencing those rolling hills of Himachal Pradesh. You're seeing all of these beautiful mountains of the Dhauladhar and Pir Panchal ranges. So it's a very nice trek to expose your children to. One thing you need to keep in mind is that it is a monsoon trek, so you are going to be seeing some rains, you're going to be seeing a lot of clouds, you could be walking on a slushy trail, but you need to mentally prepare your child for this and physically prepare your child for this as well. So if you have this in mind, and if you have exposed your children to the outdoors a little bit in the past, then Chandrakhani Pass is a very nice trek to take your child on. The next trek on my list is moving away from the Himalayas, coming down to central India, and that is the Chhattisgarh jungle trek. Now, you want a trek where you want to introduce your family to the outdoors and you want to do it in a very gentle way, then Chhattisgarh is a very good option, because there aren't many big climbs on the Chhattisgarh jungle trek. You are walking in these beautiful forests of the Guru Ghasidas National Park. There are slightly long days, I must admit, but if your child is fit and if your entire family is fit, you can easily do the trek. You will experience certain things that you will not experience anywhere else. You'll see these beautiful sal forests, which are not too dense, but they are not too sparse either. You will be able to see through the forest for long distances with the winding trail in the forest. You have this amazing river walk where you walk in the river for long hours. It is usually ankle deep or knee deep or shin deep, and you walk along the length of the river for 8 kilometers on this trek, and then you camp right on the beaches of this river. And the other campsite on this trek is right by the banks of a huge lake. So the entire experience in the midst of this incredible biodiversity makes it a very, very rich introduction to the outdoors for children. So Chhattisgarh would definitely be up there on the list. I would just like you to keep in mind that there is a possibility of ticks in these forests, because these are very dense forests. So there is a problem of ticks. So I would suggest avoiding high monsoon months, which is like July, August, and I would also avoid winter months, which is like December, January. So time your trek in like September, October, November. This is a golden time to do the Chhattisgarh jungle trek. The same applies for my next recommendation, which is the Pench Tiger Trail in Madhya Pradesh. So this is also a beautiful central Indian trek, and the forests here are very different from its neighboring trek Chhattisgarh, because here you see an incredibly dense forest. It is in the buffer zone of the Pench Tiger Reserve, so you'll actually see very dense forest, lots of biodiversity, and also the presence of tigers everywhere. You'll not see the tigers, but you'll feel their presence with pug marks, with their claw markings on the trees. You might see their feces around. So not only tigers, but you have a very high density of herbivores, of birds, lots of biodiversity within the forest. And Pench too has a very big river walk. So this is also a very, very beautiful river walk under the canopy of these trees you're going to be walking. So this is definitely a highly recommended experience for children. Here also, like I said for Chhattisgarh, avoid the big monsoon months, because the river flow is also quite high, it is quite deep, and the winter months of January and December as well, because of the presence of ticks. Any of the other months you can definitely try out the Pench Tiger Trail. So I've covered 10 treks so far. Frankly, there is no hard and fast rule that a child can do this trek or cannot do this trek. A lot depends on how much the child has been exposed to and how much your family has been exposed to. We've seen lots of very experienced parents taking their children on slightly more difficult treks like the Deoryatal trek or Kedarkantha trek. They have taken even their 8-9-year-olds on these treks despite long days or summit climbs. But we have seen families who are just introducing themselves and the entire family to the outdoors. For them, we actually recommend starting small with one of the first few treks I suggested and then growing into any of these other treks. So my suggestion is to talk to us, because we have a team of trek advisors who are seasoned trekkers themselves. They'll be able to guide you in the right direction on what trek you should choose for your family. A lot depends on the age of your children, your experience, your fitness levels, the time of the year you want to trek. So we'll be able to guide you personally for your requirements. So we have a form in the description below. All you have to do is fill it up and get in touch with us. We'll talk to you and help you out. But that's about it from me today about the best treks for families with children. If you have any other treks in mind that you would recommend, or you have experienced families, trekking as a family, I would love to hear your experience in the comments below. That's all from me today. We'll be back with more soon. I'm Swathi from Indiahikes, and you're watching Trek with Swathi.